Hey, welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid, so roles could be reversed. Always interpret the message as it best resonates. Never force anything. And always know that the message tends to go to the person that needs to hear the message. Especially on this channel, because on this channel, I like to go a little bit deeper within my readings. I don't like to just look and see how your person feels, what they did, what they're going to do. I like to look at the shadows. I like to look and see how they play out as the karmic theme. This way, you'll have an opportunity to integrate any spiritual lessons, shape shift a situation that is not in alignment with yourself. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll always get to be with the person that you want. However, you will always attract a person with the qualities that you want, especially when you pass spiritual tests, karmic tests. It's almost like the way that the universe sees whether or not we've learned from a karmic. And this is the energy that I'm feeling right now, and I don't know why. So maybe you have let someone go and someone new is coming into your life, or I'm feeling like someone like that you've been with before, like you said, is left and either come back, or you're meeting someone new altogether that has those qualities, Virgo. This is the energy. Okay, I don't know why I'm feeling that. We're going to see. Now, before I get started, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, all you need to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video. The word of the video is also the underlining energy that is going on within your situation. And I just intuitively felt information. So let's see how that ties into the word and then see how it's playing out as the karmic theme. Okay, the word of the day is empathy. Empathy. So sensitivity. I'm feeling like you and this person have a telepathic bond. Again, so there's a real spiritual bond here, because telepathic bonds means that there's a spiritual connection. It's one of the heart and the mind. This is how we actually can recognize a past life soulmate, or actually recognize any soulmate. It's that instantaneous knowing. Again, clairsentience, which is clear feeling. When we use that over time, it becomes claircognizance. The two work hand in hand, which empath. So I'm feeling that, Virgo, you're an empath. And I feel like you have a telepathic bond with, again, you're a soulmate, but I'm feeling like it's a past life. So we're going to see, again, how that's playing out within your situation. Don't know. But I always like to start by saying, what are the hidden truths? What does your person feel about you? Like, that's always a good place to start, because then we can ask the appropriate questions. Like if it's a positive connection or a karmically negative one, we would definitely want to know what's our starting point. Then we can figure out why a person thinks the way that they think, and why they may have been triggered, why you may be triggered. The timing just wasn't right for us. So I feel like, again, you are in separation from a soulmate. However, even though you've been in separation, there's always been this telepathic bond. However, I'm actually feeling as if you're coming to a place, Virgo, where you're like, I'm over it. There needs to be much, much more than just what happens in, that spiritual realm, the ether, that it needs to be grounded. And I'm actually feeling your person feels that way too, because you've been silent from this person. And I'm also feeling as if when they met you, they didn't tell you that it was the wrong time, that they came in acting as if they were ready to be in a connection. I feel you, even though we're apart, and that's what I said before about the telepathic connection. Um, so it's again soulmate. So I feel like if you're wondering why this person hasn't really come towards you, I'm feeling that sometimes they can feel you not wanting them to come closer, and then other times feeling like maybe it would be okay. And their own emotions are also blocking their own intuition sometimes. And so I do believe that this is a past life karmic mate. And the reason why is because Virgo, this person triggers you. There is love there, unconditional love, but this person triggers you. The way that they deal with life, the way that they approach life, the way that they approach you, the way that they're not emotionally intelligent, the way that they act very confident and cocky, but then what you're seeing and what they show is totally different energy. I want you. And there's a lot of passion there. And again, past life soulmates, there always is a lot of passion because the passion is what transmutes the spiritual blocks. And if you're being triggered like this, Virgo, which you are, then I believe that this person definitely is supposed to be in your life. You'd be like, person's pissing me off and they're supposed to. That doesn't necessarily mean to be with them. They should be creating awareness for you. I wish I could share my good news with you. I believe that they're making changes in their life, that the old them was a bit of a player. The old them didn't really know what they wanted, didn't really give you the time. I feel like they kind of viewed you much differently than who you really are. We will be together again. So this is what they think. This is in their mind. They feel like this is a soul connection. They can feel it. They've been putting a lot of thought into this connection. And I feel like even when they didn't want to put thought into the connection, the fact that they could still feel you is what made this person hold on, believe it or not. They've never had a connection like this. I'm confused about our relationship. I lie awake at night stressing about us and if it will work out. And that's because you guys are so different, and that they actually find that they do care a lot, where this person's not emotionally intelligent. So I believe it takes them a long time to warm up and get comfortable. They don't like change. They would rather be alone than be in the wrong relationship. And so they're an overthinker. And they're an overthinker because there's just, they've never been good in relationships. They've never felt comfortable in relationships. That's all I can feel. It was like a dream come true when we met. I never wanted that passion to end. You rock my world. So like I said, that passion is what is also holding on, right? Because that's that fire transmutes the spiritual wounds. Not to mention, we wouldn't stick around long enough to learn what we needed to learn. No one is going to sit there with someone that triggers the shit out of them unless there was some sort of passion or some sort of fire that, I mean, and that's what this relationship, like I said, is about. I'm feeling for both of you. And I've been getting a lot of that lately. You are an angel in my life, and I want to be one in yours. No one gets me like you do. But I feel like because there is a telepathic bond, there is a knowing you're able to read this person really well. So even if you haven't, per se, hung out with this person a lot, they feel as if you know them. They also feel like you know them because you live very similar to them. So even though that they haven't taken the time to really fully invest in this connection, which is why you obviously walked away, which is why they're in regret. and why I'm feeling like they are making their way back to you, or at least it's in their mind that they will be together again with you. And it's because they didn't, this is a spiritual connection. They didn't want to really be surrendered to this connection. Life feels empty without you by my side. You were my everything, and I pushed you away. And it's like they did because, like I said, they didn't know what they wanted. And I feel that, and a lot of people are probably going to argue with me, but I feel that the problem in relationships a lot of times is that we meet someone and we want that person to be our everything without really even knowing them. We want them to be our everything because we perceive them to be a certain way. And the key word obviously is perceive. And when we have spiritual blocks in certain areas, and then someone comes to us with the gifts where we have blocks in, it does draw us and it does make us think differently. It does teach us something new because that person is showing us through the way that they live. And that is what I feel like your person didn't know, that life could be different. They never felt like they could be in a relationship that was not based on just like the physical, like lust, passion, like that. Even though that there's passion here, which is very important to your person because they are not very emotionally intelligent, but they don't have a problem connecting on a physical level. But now there's this whole other element where they're feeling this spiritual bond, and that to them is like they're realizing that they could have a relationship that is completely like one that they've never had before, which is making them feel like they could actually be successful in being in a relationship. I'm realizing this connection is something special and worth treasuring. Again, because of that spiritual element. I miss you. Let's both stop running away. And I feel like that whole point in a soulmate twin flame relationship, soulmate, and I would say that at this point, if this person rises up and steps into it, like again, does their shadow work, which I feel like they did. You might not like how they did it, but they did it. They wanted to make sure that you were that person. Yes, they had an automatic connection to you, but they did not know just because when they met you, oh, there was so much passion and you're the one, you'd be like, it was too soon. I wasn't ready to meet somebody. I wasn't ready to meet someone. And everybody was telling me that I really shouldn't jump into everything because I was in other relationships. They never worked out, that I should go and explore. And how do I really know? So this person, I believe, went and they explored to see what they wanted, what they liked. And you might have said, well, I never really was even with them that much. Well, again, the point that there was a connection right away, a spiritual connection right away, they never forgot about it. It was like no other connection that they've ever had. And that connection has made this person look at you about your character, not just about departmentalizing, which is what I feel like this person's really good at, departmentalizing. They actually looked at you as a whole. And they said, well, if I'm actually attracted to her or him, they're sexy as hell. They are self-sufficient. They like you marked every single like thing in their box. But they weren't willing to really look at it in the beginning. So this is why people get offended when they say, well, they should just know. Well, how would you know if there was 50 good-looking people that wanted to be with you? You would try and intuit which would be the best, but you don't know until you actually know. And that's how this person is. They wanted to truly make sure. And that's actually a good thing because, in my opinion, they're going to put the effort in because they invested the time already. It's how much time a person thinks about you. It's not just like their energy, like money and other things that they do. It's their thought is a currency. And you don't need to be connected to a person where you're dating them every day or even seeing them. You just need to think about a person every day to grow a bond with them, especially when there's a lot of emotion. And what this is that even though you've been apart from this person, they still feel that spiritual connection, and they've never experienced that before. And that has made them actually look at you in a lot of different ways, because I don't believe that you're their norm. I don't believe that that you are someone that they usually, I feel like superficial people like them, people that can departmentalize, that is out to have a good time, that looks good but doesn't really invest a lot of time, and here this is anything but that. Anything but that. There's a lesson to be learned from this. And I feel like the lesson that to be learned is that your person, like, again, played games and didn't really give you that much time, but because they didn't think that you were their type, they didn't. When meanwhile, it's like, don't judge a book by its cover. They also believe that they could always control love. And what they saw is they can't control love. And what they also saw is by being with someone that thinks differently and acts differently, that is taught them to think and act a little bit differently. And I'm sure you too, in having to deal with this person, because like I said, soulmate, twin flames. And this is, I believe that this is a past life, but it's a soulmate twin flame because your person is doing the work, and they're stepping into like their better version of themselves, because in the beginning they didn't know what they want. Now they're clear about what they want, so they're not going to hurt anyone because they know what they want, and they have their sights on you. You gave them just enough to be able to figure out what it is that they want, and they were able to go out and explore. Even if you don't like that answer, I feel like that's what they needed to do. And that, now that they're ready, that they want to, go through that. And I feel like also the lesson for you too, Virgo, might be that even though that this is a person's learning process and you don't agree with it, that you can come to a place of not taking it personally and realizing that everybody is entitled to their own process. That this person, you both grew and you both have that connection to each other. You still have a connection to this person. That's the whole lesson that needed to be learned, that love has no ownership, it has no expectation, it can't be ruined, it can't be broken. You can think that your type is a certain kind and can be completely somebody opposite than you. You can think that you're not going to forgive a person because you feel that they betrayed you. So, and that again, that love transcends all of it. And I know, I mean, just from this person with their wounds, they need this connection to help transmute those wounds. But we can ask Spirit, why would you pull in a person like this? What do you need to learn? What are you healing? Because understand the universe, which is God, God's the universe, and that energy is unconditional love. And that's the energy that's inside of us. And when you meet your soulmate, twin flame, past life, whatever this connection is, that's that feeling of unconditional love. That's a soul recognition, where the person feels comfortable. It's like, hey, I feel like I know you before. It's a comfortability, and it's the telepathic bond that has transcended many lifetimes. So that love is, again, recognizable, and that a lot of times we need to learn that if we don't love ourselves, and then we have someone that comes into our life and shows us that much love, or sometimes we feel like, again, we have a perception of what we believe that love needs to look like. And usually it's a little distorted because it's based on what we're familiar to or what we didn't get and what we feel that we need. And what spirit is saying is like, it's none of what you think. You're down in physical form to learn and to manifest, learning that you're not separate from unconditional love. And this person has come into your life to teach you. And it doesn't mean that they didn't feel it in the beginning. They did. That's what's so painful for you, because it's like you felt it, but then you left. And then, but they left because they again, they realized what they want. They needed to do that. And so we say, well, then why would I pull a person to that? What am I supposed to learn? And we ask, imagination. Now, how do we manifest anything in life? It's through our ideas. If you can imagine it, you can create it, right? So Spirit's saying, well, during that time, if you were giving this person too much of your time, again, and maybe you're imagining that this person would give you the love that they're not supposed to be giving you. You're supposed to love yourself enough that your cup is overflowing, that that person that comes, whoever comes into your life, is just getting whatever spills out. So you gave too much. And you gave too much because, again, there was a desire inside of you. There was a lack that you felt inside of you, where really there's nothing that is lacking, because if you can imagine it, you can create it. It's not about your skill set. It's not about any of that. It takes a mustard seed. God makes it multiply. And it's a co-creation process. It's an unfoldment process. So there was a sense of not creating yourself enough. And I feel like you've done that. And that's why there's a sense also that this person is coming back. They're coming back at the right divine time. And that's where, you know, you've done the work that you've needed to, which I believe is in work. It's in creating more of yourself so that you'll love yourself enough, which actually I think I said in the beginning of this reading. And for your person to learn how to come into a relationship and learn how to like compromise, but also learn that they can't control love, and to realize that they can have a type, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's set in stone. That to me, it's just like I said, learning. And dance. This is about, when I see like dance, it makes me feel like, number one, to have rhythm, to be able to go with the flow of life, regardless of what's happening. And that's being strong within yourself. And we all have our own style to dancing, right? So again, your gift of style is your unfoldment process. And that's, again, there's a flow. And dancing is also very grounding. It's to be more in the physical body, in the physical realm, connected to your physical body. So you could be in the now. Only in the now do you get divine guidance through gut, intuition, inner knowing. And also to be in the moment is to get the divine guidance that you're seeing within the universe. You know, when you're present and you're grounded, you're being led. And you're being led by your intuition, but you have to be interactive in order to do it. So what Spirit is saying is like your style, like who are you? Like, again, like more energy towards creating you, more energy towards loving you, so that you can then go with the flow of life, because you have your own rhythm. You have your own stability when you're creating balance for yourself, when you're actually grounded, because dancing, again, is all about really being grounded, but being able to go with the flow and being happy. And so these two energies, really, when I see this, it's again, imagination and dance I'm feeling as if you grew up in a very restricted environment where you didn't get what you needed. So there was a little bit of lacking there and looking for that. And though this person did have a soul connection and does have a soul connection to you, that's very strong. It almost freaked them out in the beginning. And part of that is because it never happens that fast and they've never had a connection like this. And they don't process information the same way that you do. So it was almost like too much stimulation through all their thoughts and their emotions and such intense emotions we can see. So your job was to really just go with the flow, and you can really go with the flow of whatever anyone's doing in your environment if you're strong within yourself. And it all begins not with talent. It starts in your mind. Again, having an idea, having a passion, and imagining it. Because again, if you can imagine it, you can create it. And then it's easy to use your mind for imagination, even with relationships. If you have wounds and triggers, a lot of triggers when it comes to relationships, it's easy. It's easy to, because you're taking care of yourself. Emotionally, you're getting what you need. So it doesn't matter that this person isn't capable of giving you 100% of themselves every time, because no one can do that, number one. And number two, you're lucky if they're going to be able to give you 50% in the beginning. This person isn't used to this type of relationship. So where spirit is saying, this is twin flame relationship, which means that they think differently, they act differently. There's a lot of similarities because there's a lot of wounds and there's a lot of behaviorisms from those wounds that are matching. That you again get anxiety, they get anxiety, they get triggered, you get triggered. That's the same, but unconditional love teaches us really how to go and dance, right? Because we have to go with the flow of it. And it's like, so you're not just intuitive, but you're actually logical also. You strategize. People tend to strategize within their relationships, but that's not good all the time, where I feel like this person strategizes through everything, where you may intuit towards everything, where spirit's like, it's both. It's finding the dance between both. And it starts with you first, balancing yourself first. And remember, if you can imagine it, you can create it. And when you're creating yourself, you're not then focused on your relationship, worried, or expecting that person to be a certain way or act a certain way. You're just going to be grateful for what they can give. It's teaching you how to surrender, teaching you both how to surrender. And that happens when we grew up in a difficult environment. So I believe that that's what you and your person have in common. So we asked Spirit, what is the energy that we could bring in to incorporate into this connection to make life a little bit easier when we are going to give this relationship a chance? So we'll ask. Here and now, the future does not exist and the past is gone. I focus on the present moment. They say that bad things. I focus on the present moment. I have confidence in life again because here and now there is no danger. Everything happens when my soul is ready. So again, your person's not late. It's their process. You needed to work more on yourself. Part of your healing was for that, but also doing it is going to help you within your relationship. Why? Because being grounded in the here and now, you're not going to be focused on what this person did, how they did it, when they did it, so that you won't be triggered by what they do as much. And that's the same for this person. So Spirit's saying, don't come from the past. It's like all you have is now. and you know how to balance yourself. You've done your healing and they've done theirs, because what this says is I focus on the present moment. I have confidence in life because here and now there is no danger. Everything happens when my soul is ready. So that's divine timing. That if you're like, oh, it should have happened this way, it should have happened that way, spirit thing, everything's in divine order. This connection is in divine order, even though you might be like, but it looks fucked up. And then spirit will say, well, that's love. Love doesn't always look perfect. Sometimes it looks sloppy. Sometimes it doesn't, it's not your norm. It's not what you expect. And that's the moral of it. It's like, it's not what you expected, but it really is a divine connection. And I'm going to leave that there, Virgo. You let me know whether you resonated with this. I love your comments. And I love when you're interactive. And remember, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, don't forget to write that magic word in your comment bar, and I don't know where it went, and I don't remember. Oh, yes, I do. There it is. It is empathy. You're gonna write empathy. And that, how could I forget? That's that claircognizance, ESP connection. Again, soulmate twin flame relationship, past life connection. Again, that's that telepathic one, transcends lifetimes. I don't know how I forgot that. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.